Alright, this is XXGUY here. I'll be making a video on bleeding brakes and putting in speed bleeders. First thing you want to do is, hey, make sure you get the right kind of stuff. I got .4. That's what most motorcycles are. So I got some .4. You'll find it right here. If you don't know what you got, it's .4 right there. You can use synthetic. It doesn't matter as long as it's .4. Another thing I do is I cut a slit in a 20-gallon garbage bag from the kitchen I steal from my wife's cabinet. She never even knows it. She wouldn't care if she did. Put a slit and I stretch it. I keep stretching it like this until it's down around here. See how tight it is right there? So no fluid will escape. And it's got a nice apron so I don't get it on anything. And here's the curious cat that gets in my way. Get out of here. Okay, so with that, now we come down, and this is your front right bleeder on a Tenere. That's the first one you do. That's going to be an 8mm or 5/16, one and the same. Okay, I'm going to pop that out. I don't want to pop my reservoir, because if I pop my reservoir, then it's vented, and a whole bunch will drain out as I take that out. And what I do is I just use a long 8mm socket, and I'll take that thing right out. I put a rag around there so if anything comes out, it doesn't drain too far and is absorbed by the rag. But once I'm done with this, that rag will get thrown away because .4 is corrosive to paint. And that's one reason why I use that garbage bag. In case I spill a little bit or pull or release my brake lever too fast and a little spurts out, it won't go on my paint. So with that, we're going to replace this with a speed bleeder. I get my speed bleeders at speedbleeder.com. Small, I think they're mom and pop. Really good customer service. They didn't have the Tenere on their website. I just called up, and she knew right away what I needed. And I paid with a credit card, and they were there 2 to 3 days later. So, and if I have a problem, I just call her up again and send it back, send anything back. They're really good customer service. And small company, I want to support small companies. So I also have a speed bleeder bag, which is reusable. And how I reuse it is I put when it gets full, I take this off, I put my Mighty Vac pump on there, suck it all out, and then I tuck it back in the box it came in, hanging on my pegboard. It's ready to go for the next job. So, real handy. So they said my Tenere on the right-hand side needed a 8125 LL. That just means it's longer thread, sticks up farther, and sometimes I need that. And my other ones are 8125Ls, and my rear is like an SB 7100 or something like that. So, don't know why they're different, but they are. And it's important to get the right ones. Now, speed bleeder has that sealant around there already, so you don't have to worry about any air getting sucked in if you use a vacuum. I don't even use my vacuum Mighty Vac pump anymore for my motorcycle since using these, because all I do is loosen that quarter turn, and I slowly pump out, and I'll show you my setup. But if you use regular bleeders, you do it a quarter turn and you're pulling champagne bubbles up through your hose, that means you're sucking air past these threads. Okay, so you should put Teflon tape around those threads. With speed bleeders, they come with this sealant. I never worry about that. But Teflon tape is what the manufacturer said to use from their shop manuals. And you don't want too much, because when you put too much, you put it in there, the threads can't thread correctly. You can cross thread that. And I had a friend do that on his motorcycle. We had to get him a whole new caliper. So don't put too much, just enough to keep that thread. Or you can you go to speedbleeder.com and you can buy a tube of sealant and paint these threads and let it dry, and you're good to go there. But Teflon tape's the easy way to go. Just don't put too much on. You want to be able to see those threads. So we're gonna spin this out. I'll put my finger over it when I'm until I get this one in, and we'll pick back up when I'm there. Well, I got a little surprise. The 8125 LL didn't fit there. Yamaha had something with an O-ring, and I've never seen a bleeder like that, but it's my first Yamaha I've owned. Usually I'm a straight Honda person. But this is coffee in here. Not good. It should be clear, almost clear. So this is old. I've seen it so old where there's layers of sludge in the bottom. We don't want that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my Mighty Vac and I'm going to stick it in there and I'm going to pump it and suck all that out of there and clean it up with the Q-tips. Like I said, be careful with Q-tips. They can leave cotton behind, so you better be real careful, paying attention. You don't want any strands left in there, because if you do, it can get sucked down in the orifice and then jam in that small return hole, and then your brakes will bind eventually. Not good. So I'll be sucking that out, and I'll show you the conventional way without a Mighty Vac pump, and then I'll show, since I got to do it without a speed bleeder on this one, I'll show you how to do it with a Mighty Vac too. Well, I'm happy to say there's no real sludge down there. Like I said, I've seen it thick. So now I'll just clean that out, and then I'll get to it. And this has a window in it over there. I think you can see it. If that window's got gunk in it, if yours old, what I do is I put a paper shop towel down there, lint free, won't come, and I'll cover all that up, and I'll spray some cleaner, like carb cleaner or whatever, in there, and flush that window out right there. If you can see that window, you flush that window out, and it all goes into the shop paper towel that won't leave any lint or anything behind. So then I clean, and then I take it out. That's how I clean the windows out. Okay, there it is. It's all cleaned out. Didn't take but 2 or 3, maybe 4 total Q-tips. And I inspected. There is none left, no cotton threads left. And now I'll fill it up. Okay, my wife has the lever squeezed. I'm going to open it up. The lever gets collapsed. Right. And I close it. She slowly releases the lever. Release. And then she's going to squeeze the lever again. Put pressure on it. Okay. You got pressure? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to release the fluid. It's going to come through. Squeeze. Okay, squeeze tight. Okay, now I'm going to shut it. We're going to just repeat this until, and right now we've been doing a little bit. I've got newer fluid in there. Those lines, it doesn't take much to go from the reservoir down. We've used about half a reservoir. So I'm pretty sure I'm done with this. You can see some, this kind of mixing now, but there was some color difference between the old and the new. But now it's kind of mixed. That's how you do it conventionally. It's not real hard. And by squeezing and releasing, this is what we're talking about. She squeezes it like that, gets pressure on it, and then
you turn that thing down there.
Then I open the bleeder, and she'll pull it all to the handle, and then I'll close the bleeder before she releases it.
So you close it when I have it pulled all the way tight.
Yep.
Then I release this.
Yep. Okay, and see, this has been going down. You want to refill it about now. You do not want air getting in there. That is your enemy. Okay, folks. Now, I don't know if there's time. I thought I was recording, but I'm not. Anyway, I put a light behind there so I can see the color change and any air bubbles or anything. Makes it real nice. I have my wheel cocked, okay, to put this level. So, and when I'm level, you can see, it's not want to focus there. Now it's focused. I got it pretty level, and that's a backside, and that line there is what you want to line up on with your fluid if you're level. And as you see on the front, I got it on that line. I'm full. So I always maybe put it a little fuller. I'll squeeze some out. This will keep it from getting anywhere. So I'm going to fill it up a little bit. I'm going to put my inner cover back on, which is right here. This black. I clean it up. I make sure it's all clean. Put it back, and then I put the lid on it. And I usually have a rag around here, so when I squeeze a little out, but that way I know there's no air in there. And I couldn't use my speed bleeder, so I'll call them up and try to get a refund. But if not, I got a couple other bikes I can put it on. All right. Okay, I got ahead of myself. I got to do the other side before I go back. But here's a real oddity. Yamaha, in their wisdom, the right one had an O-ring on it and a couple other different things, so it didn't work. So I'll call speedbleeder.com up, and we'll get to the bottom of this, and I'll get the right one. Now here's the left caliper. Sure enough, conventional, and my other speed bleeder I had screwed right in. I've got my bag set up on it. I'll show you how I did that, and then I'll get to doing that. So this one, the wife won't have to be out here. I can just pump by myself. I'll leave it open because of speed bleeder. I don't need to shut it every time. So let me go show you how I got it set up on the other side. Okay, here I got my speed bleeder in there. I've already got it loose. Doesn't matter if it's loose or not. It's loose. And I've got my hose coming up here like this to my speed bleeder bag right here. Okay, just hanging there. I'll have a light behind it. I'll set up my light behind it so I can stand here. I can see when clear new fluid comes up through there. But here's the beauty of speed bleeders. I just got to sit over here like this, pull this front brake lever the whole time. I just slowly push it out. There's one pump. Release it. There's another pump. Release. Let's do another pump. That's why you don't want to push too fast. You see a little pump there? You go fast, that will squirt way up. I don't want that. It just, as you apply pressure on the lever. So I just go nice and smooth. Okay, I'm dropping the level nice right there, right? Every time I release it, it sucks back in. See, it's going down now as I release. Let's go over here. See what we got over here. I got fluid coming up there already, all the way to this hose, going in the bag. Now, I know from the color of that that's new fluid. But, because I like being thorough, I'll give her 2 or 3 more pumps. The thing I like about doing it this way, 1, I don't suck any air in. 2, I can be up here monitoring this the whole time. Just pumping slow, watching my level go down. And there's no way I'm going to suck air in with my Mighty Vac. And that is why I like speed bleeder so much. And it's easy to do. On my Gold Wing, those are connected brakes over there on that Gold Wing. Link brakes. And I have 8 different bleeders on there. And trying to do that, squeeze it all by yourself, is almost an impossible job. And so I don't want to have to get somebody out. Speed bleeders, I don't need somebody. I can just do it by myself with no fear of sucking any air in. And that's why I like speed bleeders. Okay, so this one right here, I'm going to button this up now, button up the other side, and now I've got to figure out how to do the rear. I might have to take the reservoir for the rear master cylinder out and do that. So I got to figure that out. But that's how you use speed bleeders. That's how you do your front brakes. That's how you do your rear brakes. I'm going to replace that, suck everything out of my rear reservoir, and put new in there, and away I go. It's not hard with speed bleeders, folks. I love them. Can you tell? Okay, it looks like on the rear Super Tenere caliper, They have a regular bleeder I can take off, but they've got this seal right here that trip a little bit. It's got a seal right there that I got to transfer to the new speed bleeder. So that's what I'm going to do. It's just like a big fat O-ring. I just got to strip it off, put it on the new one, put the other one in. All right, there's the seal on the new speed bleeder, and now we're going to put it in. Okay, on the Super Tenere, there's your reservoir. There's a screw right there I got to take out, and then there's a fitting right there. You got to pull the apart so you get the hose. And some of these bikes you got to take this out, and I have like a big wire tie that you put together, and I just got it temporarily wrapped there, and pretty level. So I'm going to suck that out with my thing. And if you want to know the name of those things, they are a gear tie, I guess, and they're heavy wire with a good rubber around it, and you can put all sorts of things like extension cords and everything. But if you've never seen it before, they're a handy thing to have around your garage. So just for things like that, or wrapping up a winch strap or something like that. So I do. So there you go. Now I'm going to suck that out and then clean it out and put new fluid in. Okay, that's cleaned out. It wasn't very dirty. I sucked it out. The stuff was almost like coffee again. Here you can see this. My level's right there, my hose, if you can see that. And now I'm just going to sit here on the side of the bike. Gently press that rear brake. And down she goes. And this level will start going down too. So I was up above the upper. And of course, this won't take very much fluid to pump out. Just nice and gentle. See, I'm already putting stuff in the bag over there. It's about reaching the bag. Let's get that focused. And we're starting to put stuff in the bag. 3 pumps. Already go in the bag. And let's check that fluid. I put about a third or quarter of the reservoir, and I'm just checking my fluid. It's looking pretty clean. Once you pump that reservoir out, it doesn't take a whole lot of fluid to get down there. Now, I'm not going to go all the way down to my lower. And you notice it lowers as you raise your pedal. And since I bought one of these, I'm almost done, so I might as well make sure. I'll put another whole reservoir through there. Every time you hear that little kink, that's a pump. I'm just down in below my upper again. So if I'm going to go to my lower, maybe another pump. That's more than enough fluid there. So now I'm going to fill this up to the upper, keep it level, put the cap on, and then I'll put it back in place. Okay, so on a Super Tenere 1200, put that back. I put a little anti-seize on that just to make sure she glides in. It was a little tough, so don't screw that in if you feel resistance. I kept playing with it a little bit of the screwdriver, a Japanese industrial standard screwdriver, not a Phillips. and all of a sudden she went in smooth and no problem. So be careful not to cross thread that. So I used probably 2/3 of this. Do not save this because you say, "Oh, it's brand new. I'll save that bottle." Hey, guess what? It absorbs moisture. You got a bunch of moisture in there because you let air in that bottle, and just throw it out with some used oil. Don't save it. It's not worth it because in 2 years you just get a new bottle. You don't want something that's absorbed water and now you put it in your system. It'll corrode, it'll gunk up, everything. But what I'm going to do is I will save this little bit because tomorrow I'm going to it's already 10 o'clock tonight. So now tomorrow I'll do another video on how to run your anti-lock ABS unit. Now I've got new fluid in the system. Now I'm going to run the fluid, that pump, it'll pump new fluid into the system and push old fluid out. And that way it won't gunk up in there because that's a $2,000 unit. You want to flush that every now and then. And then I'll re-bleed all these again. So it won't take me very long now. I got speed bleeders already in there, except for one of them. And I'll just have my wife help me with that one again. I won't even use my little vacuum pump. It's not even worth it. So with that, I'll do another video on how to do that tomorrow. All right. So see you guys later. And if you want to see something else on a Tenere, if you're a Super Tenere owner, I've got my name on that form is Tenere Guy. I've got a whole thread. I went through and did a whole bunch on this bike, and you can follow that thread and see what I did. Any questions, anything you want to see, you can go through there or make comments here, and I'll try to explain something or make a short video explanation. So don't save your old fluid, folks. Get rid of it. But I'm going to use some tomorrow. I got another bottle. I'm going to redo this whole system again tomorrow after I make that ABS unit pump and get some of that old fluid out of there. It'll be in the lines, and then I'll just clean all that up. All right. Thanks a lot for watching. Hopefully, if you have any questions, this answered it. Thanks. Bye.